age, sometimes it can be a little glitch here. Okay, run it back twice. I think we got it figured out now. Now there's some stuff popping up. I'm looking at my phone.
Yeah.
So I think,
yeah.
Okay.
Say hello to
guys.
Say
hello to who?
No.
You said Matt or Pat?
Matt Thibodeau. Matt Thibodeau.
Oh, okay, Matt Thibodeau. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, he's Melvin Davis's and McKinley's guitarist.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna have some heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Heavy hitters on today, man. I've been telling the guys when we were in our backstage green room pre-prep chat, I'm gonna be mainly a sponge, man. This is it's a pleasure and an honor week after week, but especially this week, man. You know, my positioning with doing music and everything. I enjoy doing this show because I learned so much, you know. So it's a great thing. And today's guest, we're definitely gonna be taking a deep dive. This guy has many credits under his belt. He's worked with a lot of artists, plays many instruments, and things of that nature. So we give you guys just a few moments to get yourself in and situated. Share with your friends. This is going to be something definitely worth seeing. We also have a YouTube page available where you can go over to our YouTube page. You can watch it live for those that don't have Facebook. And also, when you get over to the YouTube page, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and subscribe. So anytime we drop new content, you guys will be the first to be notified. And we know how we all like to be first to be notified about something, right?
Yep.
All right. Let's see who else we got on real fast. We got Miss Lisa Ryan, Michelle Light, Joyce Jacobs.
Nice.
Cindy. Neil.
Neil from the UK.
Neil Duggins from the UK. Okay, you guys made it.
And we got Karen McBride from the UK.
Okay, we got Cindy Cannon McDonald. I'm just scrolling real. Liz Rhodes. Hey guys, Gail Kimbrough.
Okay.
All right. So it looks like we're filling in nicely.
Yes. All right. Yeah, man. Today is going to be a good one.
It's going to be a great one. Hope you guys are ready.
You know, and all our shows have been great.
They have been.
And you know, some artists we have to bring back. In fact, we're bringing back Shelly Clark White and Verdine White. We're bringing them back for part 2. And I'm thinking after tonight, we're going to bring McKinley back because it's so long, you know.
I was telling him in our green room conversation, I was you know, weekly we do our research and everything, and I got to a section that was dealing with his credits or artists he's worked with or albums he's been a part of, and I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled and I scrolled some more, and I was like, wow, this is an extensive resume. So definitely honor and privilege to have him on today. And we thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah. So
Ken, I'm gonna let you take it away.
All right. What's all that crackle pop?
You hear crackle pop?
Yeah. Brandon, you all right?
I have no idea.
Okay, cool. All right, so listen, I want to bring on one of my idols. You know, I'm speaking to the end of the musicians that was from Detroit. We knew of a magnificent band called McKinley Jackson and the Politicians. We all tried to emulate them, tried to be like them, and it is my pleasure to bring my homeboy, Mr. McKinley Jackson.
Yes, y'all.
Hello, guys. Hello.
Hey.
All right.
How are you guys? How are you?
We good. What about yourself?
Fantastically well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Man, glad you could be with us, you know, and
glad to be here.
We were bragging on you a few minutes ago. I don't know if you heard us.
I did a bit.
So you don't like to brag on yourself. I do know that. You know, but you know, it's just facts. You know, you are just super talented. your arrangements, your production, your piano playing.
Yeah.
Definitely the trombone.
The piano playing, such as it is, Midas.
Oh, you're great. You're great, man. You're great.
You know, I just saw a thing today in Facebook coming and said, you don't have to worry about telling your story. Time will.
Oh my God.
And that seems appropriate. Seems appropriate.
No, that's great. That's great. Well, but before we get into it, we always like to just ask our fellow artists, musician friends who come on the show based on the fact that we're in quarantine right now, so to speak. How have you been keeping busy during this period where we kind of...
I've been quarantining with you guys. I've been quarantining with you.
Yes, indeed.
The 3 of you, the 2 of you, Midas and Brandon. You're doing
okay. With our little quarantine thing.
Yeah, I've been.
Quarantining
with the board, with the chairman.
Yeah, and it's a pleasure, man, just to have you, tune in and check us out, and the beautiful compliments you leave, in regards to our music. We don't take it lightly. We appreciate it very much.
I appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
You guys do great music too. I've been tuning in, especially since we spoke. I went back and looked at a lot of the researched a lot of the hits on YouTube and the different things. Some of the songs I was familiar with, but you guys handle a live audience spectacular. Great live group. Great audience participation. You really are.
And I will say this: when General left here and Danny left here, the fans they continue to support us, and without them, we can't even exist.
Yeah,
and we've been very fortunate. And the other thing is having great music.
Gotta have that.
Yeah,
the catalog is something.
Yeah, I was involved with some of the catalog, and some of it wasn't, but I still like it. The California things. I mean, not but the Carolina, Carolina girls, and the different things. I've been checking you out, so I know a bit. But matter of fact, General called me before he passed. Come to think of it, General had called me and played me some of the things he was doing, and I think he was involved with Clyde Davis at the time, or maybe he was getting away from that situation. I forgot the backstory on it. But he played the music for me, and we kind of wrapped that out and talked that out. But in general, well, Danny Woods, his manager, Betty Slater. I was in a club playing the Brown Bunny. I remember the Brown Bunny.
Yeah,
you know what kind of club that was. That was
that's in Detroit.
Yeah, in Detroit on Davis.
Okay.
The Brown Bunny, and Danny came in to do a spot, and so I played behind Danny. I guess I got the band together, and taught them the chords, even on trombone. I used to go out with a lot of people and play to their guitars or keyboard. I would go out as the trombone. And place it because I could play the bass on trombone. I could tell them the chords and things. So it was weird. Most guys took out the guitars and keyboard, and they were taking me out as their music on trombone. So, but I used to play a lot. I got into that early, and I was playing in B, E, F sharp. I mean, all the guitar keys. So
nice.
But, Betty, so Danny and Betty came to me and said, "I want you to back Danny up on some other engagements," and so that's what we did. And eventually, as we went along, I picked up pieces, and that became the Politicians. Okay. And that's true. Well, at first, first half, I worked with Danny. I went to the club, the Playhouse with Danny, and I was in the bands. It was all white band, all Caucasian white band, whatever. And I eventually took over the band, and it was all white guys at first, and we were going to call it McKinley Jackson and the Presidents, playing off the McKinley and the Jackson. But somebody pulled my coat and said, "Well, this is back in the early '60s. We're not sure about the black president. People wouldn't even concede that Obama could possibly be the president of the United States." They say, "No, you shouldn't do that." So I said, "Okay, I'll go to the other door. I'll say the Politicians." And And that's how I got the name. And then
that's cool.
Yeah, and then I left there. And then the picture just showed they became the politicians that everyone knew because we were doing everything: the 20 grand, the Kobo, the Ford Auditorium, or that's Little Charlie on the end here with the guitar. He went on to write KG, which is on the Saturday Night Fever album with John.
Okay.
Stanley Cleveland is now a teacher, I think in the I forgot exactly where. I'll come back to that. Melvin deceased. Melvin Griffin deceased. Larry Andrews is deceased, and Larry Andrews deceased early because he wasn't with us then. Zachary Slater or Zachary Frazier that did the stuff with the parliaments and jumps on all our Invictus stuff. And the guy was Chuck Boyd. That was our bassist.
Chuck Boyd, yeah.
He's still around. He's not playing. He's not playing.
Like I said in the intro, you know, any band, any guys that were musicians in Detroit, it was the politicians, McKinley Jackson. That's what you wanted to be.
We were busy.
And then you guys did a stint at the 20 grand every week on TV, right?
That's right. Every Thursday.
I read that too,
every Thursday. And and everybody, there was anybody came to 20 grand. So we covered people like from Chuck Jackson, Lou Ross, T-Bone Walker. I mean, that's going way T-Bone Walker. That's like saying, and I did play with John Hooker once, but that's going back and saying like Muddy Water and Howlin' Wolf. I mean, that's TJ Walker back then. But we did a lot at the 20 grand, and each week we would come over.
I just sit in front of the TV and wait on that show. I just sit in front of the TV and wait for that show to come on because I saw you with the first artist you mentioned, Chuck Jackson. Yeah, I've seen that. When you guys backed up, yeah, man.
A very nice guy too. Great voice, you know that. But that show when we came on each week, I would do a little thing on the trombone, just a slide thing. Keep waiting, and then get up. Some kind of way to call him Mellow Yellow. And we went to other songs because we used to play all the songs, classical guys.
It was great, man. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
it was great.
We had a good group because everybody contributed different things. Like I was there, but Stanley wrote good Baroque and classical oriented things. Melvin was jazz, and so and Little Charlie was just a great guitarist. He went with Newberg later. Lighters, and then the Newberg. And so all the guys, we all contribute different things, So it wasn't all about me, but it was a good group, good collection of guys.
McKinley.
I think a picture of Betty Slater. Anybody like that? I think it's a picture of Betty.
Got it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's Betty in the back. look like she's looking over her glasses. That's Betty. That's Betty Slater.
Sweet.
Who else is in the photo?
That's in the front. That's Stanley Cleveland on the right side of this picture itself. Stage. Well, and in between, I had not seen her picture in so many years, and I knew she was a talented woman. And I went back and looked. I finally called Edward Holland. I called other people, asked them about her, and they couldn't remember it. So I went on Google, and I remember, I think I came up with Jackie, and I went on Google and I said, I want to know every singer from Chicago named Jackson. I mean, Jackie. So it turns out it's Jackie Ross, and she made Selfish One.
Wow, yes.
If you're not familiar with that song, look it up, because she can sing. Man. She can sing.
And great song.
McKinley.
Yes.
I just want to backtrack real quick. How old were you when you first got into your passion for music, and what led to you being interested in music?
In
the first place?
I was tell you why. I was a stiff. I mean, I wasn't good for anything.
Oh, come on now.
I didn't play sports. I wasn't really, I didn't have any game for women at that time.
I hear you.
So I got into music. I didn't really care about any of the sports and hanging out and stuff like that because my brother did, and he was good with everything. So I had to uphold the family name. So I couldn't go out there and be bad at it.
I got you.
But I got in. I had a good friend named Charles Thomas. Hadn't thought about him for years.
Okay.
We said, he said, some kind of way we were talking and said, he said, I joined the band. And we always went tit for tat. I said, I did too, but I hadn't. And I ran back steps to the school, went into the room. And the only thing they had left was trombone. So I took it and fell in love with it. Because, you know, everybody wanted to play trumpet and saxophone, the sexy instrument, you know.
Like Ken?
But I got the trombone. I loved it. And I kept going. And then I was going to Northern. And then I went to a music school where the teachers were all with the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. And they all donated their talent to the school, to kids for underprivileged, quote unquote, schools, a settlement school, music settlement school. And I picked grass and weeds and dusted, and the teachers are very lovely ladies. She'd come with a white glove and come behind me and check my work and everything. And she'd get on her knees and go out there and find weeds. I mean, if I picked 1,000,000 weeds, she'd find the one I didn't get.
That you didn't pick. Wow.
Miss Grace Barber. But I did that for 50 cents an hour. And
what age is this?
What
age is this we talking here?
High school, so
a teenager at least, maybe 15, 16.
A teenager, because I was a teenager when I went to Motown and started recording. So so I kind of like all that kind of transfers over to high school, but I was going to school there, and that's how I got my start actually. And then then like I said, then I always tell people I wasn't never in the street, but I was on the sidewalk, you know. When that was going out there. But then I got a call from Paul Reiser to come to Motown. And I went to Motown, and my first session there was Ooh Baby Baby.
Smokey Robinson.
Yeah, the Smokey Robinson, the Miracle. That was my first recording. I keep saying first because it was Motown.
Right.
As I found out years later, I had done a lot of stuff around the city. I just didn't realize I was just going from one session.
Just going,
not listening back. And then later when the UK exposed me to a lot of things I had done with my credits and stuff on that I didn't realize, I recall some of it after they made me aware of it. But I went to Motown. That was my first thing, was the Smokey Robinson. And then it was Norman Whitfield that was directing the floor. 3 trombones on that record that sound like perhaps slightly out of tune organ as I listen to it. And that's 3 trombones. And all the other 2 guys are all deceased, Bob Cousart and Don White and myself. That was that. So then I was into the Motown clique. Somewhat not a funk brother because I didn't play rhythm, but at that time in Studio A, everybody's played on the floor. Jamerson would be across the way, Eddie Willis, Don White, Jack Ashford, Dyke, Benny Benjamin over here on drums, Real on drums sometimes, because Benny sometimes would fall out on the drums, and that's how.
Oh, really?
Then they had the other drummers just keep going.
Oh man,
that's funny how that was an order of things, you know. Then later people all want to use 2 drummers. They didn't ever know.
Right.
They had 2 drummers. But all those guys were on the floor. So that was my start. I did a lot of stuff in Motown.
There's a question. We have a question from Sylvia.
Oh, we got a question?
Yeah.
What was the vibe like working at Motown? It seems exciting.
It became a way of life because you go there every day, but it was exciting. And when you look back at it now, it's even more exciting to realize what was going on, what we were involved in. At the time, it was like another day, another dollar. And that's about what it was, $5. Wasn't much money at the beginning. But no, it was exciting. All the guys, and all those guys, these guys are all cars. They were all comedians. Oh, Eddie Bongo was in the corner too, right there.
And Eddie Bongo Brown.
Eddie Bongo Brown.
Right.
And,
we got to.
So it was really, really exciting because all the guys had jokes and they keep things going. And you know, you heard about different stories. They would come in from the clubs because they would be working in the clubs and they'd be cracking up about the clubs. And I think I wasn't there on this one, but they told me Jameson laid down and played What's Going On. Laid down.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's on What's Going On. Jameson laying down on the floor.
Laying down. Wow.
He was, you know, not out of it, but just
he
was laid back. He was laid back. That's what he did, laid back on the floor.
Yeah, wow. So there would be some gigging going on, and as well as recording.
Oh yeah, they'd be gigging. Yeah, they'd be gigging a lot. There's some pictures in Facebook where they were working at there's one place they'd work at called Berserties. They later changed it to Phelps Lounge.
Okay.
Phelps Lounge. You heard of Phelps. That's even the last place in Detroit that Otis Ray and the Barcades played at. But and Tommy Hunt, it used to be, that's the old singer.
Tommy Hunt. Yeah, we met him.
We met Tommy Hunt over
in 2018.
Yeah, Tommy Hunt and his sidekick Jeremiah Huckabee was his. It was his clown sidekick, and he would come out like a monkey, and Tommy would be on like a chain. And he said, "This is my monkey."
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, already scratching my head. But anyway,
I think we have another question from our buddy Neil Dugans.
Okay.
And play his sax.
I think Ken should lay down and play his sax.
That wasn't the question.
Yeah. Speaking of Motown, we McKinley.
First of all, in L.A., yeah, I did all the stops in L.A. and that would be Birmingham. That would be Burbank.
Okay.
I work all the studios out there. So the answer is yes. I did work all the studios in Burbank. I can't think that offhand, but there were different artists. Even Norman Connors, he would book different studios out there. We work out there with Phyllis Hyman and Norman, Gene Carn. So we did a lot of work in those studios. If they're speaking of Universal Studios, I did work there.
Oh, Universal Studios.
Yeah.
And I think we have a picture. Speaking of Motown, we have a picture with you and Barry Gordy.
Okay. Yeah, that's Barry.
What was going on in this picture, McKinley? Do you recall?
I might have been asking, can I do another session? No, I don't know. No, Barry was producing.
Okay.
Not Tower Power. I did work with Tower Power though, but he was producing Power for the Temptations. Boom, Power, boom, 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 Power, and he was producing that, and that's what we were doing. I believe that's the one. Unless we did a Jose Feliciano together too.
Okay.
It's one of those sessions. I thought it was Power, but I just thought it could have been Jose Feliciano. But yeah, that was Barry.
Okay.
So let me ask you this: after playing your first session in Motown, you got your feet wet.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
So now Holland, Dozier and Holland starts the company, right?
That's right.
Now, how did you become involved with the Hollands in Lamont?
Well, I tell you, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not, Jeffrey Bourne, who later married Bonnie Pointer. I guess we can talk about her later. Jeffrey was her producer also, and he's actually the one that got the Chairmen together too, and the Glass House, and I'm not sure who's responsible for the Honeycombs coming there. He brought me there though.
Okay.
So that's how I got with Invictus, and they were all surprised at my age because they had been sitting around Motown. They told me I had a mustache. They said that you thought you were an old man, you know. And so I got with them, and I started doing all their records. Matter of fact, before they had a studio, Melvin was talking. I heard Melvin Davis when he was on, and he was talking about Steve Manchin, Clyde Wilson.
Yeah,
that she's not just another one. That record, that was the Politicians' plan. They see what they did back then. It wasn't an exception. That was the rule. We would cut tracks, and then we would get the vocals on it. Had a hit record, then we would get a group. They would get a group to
go out.
The record. So the record didn't follow the group followed the record.
Right.
They had a guaranteed hit to go out there. All you had to worry about maybe was personality and the gelling together in terms of personnel. But so my group, my Politicians, we did a lot of the tracks originally for Invictus. Then they asked me to come in. I went in and I asked the whole Politicians. They signed us. They signed us. We were the first group to sign with the
with
the label. Okay.
So y'all the first act signed.
The first sign, and Shelly and the Honeycombs were the second group to sign.
Well, you know what, Shelly? I think we should bring Shelly in here.
Let's bring her in.
I was kind of hoping you would.
Hello.
How you doing?
So,
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Everybody.
Hey.
So back
you're in LA?
Yes.
So good afternoon. It is good afternoon there.
Yeah. Where are you?
I'm in Redford, but right outside of Royal Oak, which is right outside of Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
We were just getting into the
Park Shelton for a long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is it still there? Is it still there?
Yeah, I believe so.
Park Shelton. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did a lot of work with the Honeycombs.
Yeah. We did. All the first Honeycombs. Well, no, I would imagine to say because the Honeycombs did cut for a while before they had the hits. Okay. So the records that came out the studio, basically I was doing all the tracks for the Holland group and Closure. Basically I was doing all of those. But when they started having the hits, I definitely was doing that along with General Johnson and Greg Perry and Angelo Bonds.
Yeah.
And so I was doing all the tracks for those one, and Barney Perkins came over with the title One Ass, the engineer, and they did the One Ass, they did the Stick Up, One Monkey, and they did a lot of things. There's some good albums too that people probably weren't exposed to all the way. But yeah, so I was doing the Honeycomb stuff too there,
Awesome.
I understand the first lyrics to One Ads was put in the One Ads, I want some love for sale or something. The lyrics were too racy. So
had to change it.
And change it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know who I was trying to think. Who would that have been? Greg or General? It might have been Angelo, because he was a lyricist for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, couldn't think of
He was kind of quiet, as I remember. I just see him around the other two, but always around. But I didn't know he did all the lyrics.
Oh yeah, no, Angelo wasn't around all the time. General and Greg were at all the sessions.
Okay.
I remember One Ads when they stopped the session and came on the floor and did the break. General did the break. We went to the break. One Ad, man, sing the break. Da 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 da. I mean, I got a contract out on me that says I should not ever sing. Well,
you don't have to.
But that was great. I mean, it was a good vibe. Somebody asked about a vibe a while ago. It was a great vibe in the studio with them. And that's when we put Ray Parker in on guitar. And stuff.
Ray Parker, that's right, Ray Parker.
Yeah, Ray was there. He brought Ray in, and Tony Newton might have been on bass.
Tony Newton, okay.
Yeah, he might have been on bass. Either Babbitt or Jameson did some things too, but it was either Babbitt or Tony for the most part. Yeah.
Bob Babbitt.
So
I
McKinley,
remember One Ads wasn't for us in the very beginning. It didn't go to us. It went to Sherry Coon.
I never knew that.
Yeah, and after she didn't like it, Edna heard it and said, "Oh, I like the song. I'll do it." So
I can't imagine her turning that one down.
Yeah.
Because that was I always thought that when Greg, General, and Angelo came to the company, they kind of brought a new bloodline to the company. I always thought that, you know. But yeah, they were good. They were good writers and good producers.
We have a question from Lisa Ryan that I think is kind of important.
Hey, Lisa. The lyrics of the 60s Motown music was so powerful and meaningful for such a sad time in our history. Can you talk about what is happening today and the role of artists and music to bring much needed change in our country?
Well, I tell you, compared to the day, it's not only artists, entertainers, but it's everybody. This is the time we're in where everybody has to do what they can do to promote and to carry on what's been started. Because I tell people, whatever happens with the verdict and the story, it's been exposed. And therefore, that's going to go on and go on. It might be bumps in the way, but they can't. The only thing I see myself problem is that I don't want to get discombobulated or drugged down with too many extraneous things like statues or maybe. And
right.
You get to your point first, then we can take care of the police and defund them. We can take care of all of that. But I don't want that to be used to stop that all life matters. That's my point. You know, I don't want to see it get too political. Just keep it kind of pure and objective. Keep the main focus objective, because they'll throw things in there, you know.
Of course.
Yeah, and make it political, you know, so they could jump in. So we don't want to tear down statues. Well, that's not it. We'll take care of that after we get to the goal line, you know, the goalposts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but back then the music was political then, because General and Greg wrote "Bring the Boys Home."
That's right.
Thing.
Yeah.
So that was a social consciousness back then, and naturally, Norman Whitfield came out with the Ball of Confusion.
Okay.
And those are great lyrics in there. Moving in, moving out, you know, people move in and the other people move out and something. Just those are great lyrics. They were social conscious. And the rappers today, I think they're doing some of the things that that they should do. Now,
some of them.
Not only with the money, but a lot of them are taking positions and they're talking. That's the whole thing, to speak out.
Yeah,
and that's something that we all can do.
So in other words, when we know better, we can do better.
We can do better, sure.
Yeah,
and it's out the bag now. See, it's out the bag now. I tell you,
awareness.
Much younger. I was so happy to see Watergate when Watergate happened. And the Republicans had sent the plumbers in to the DNC, the Democratic Club office to get papers. If you remember, Watergate was a long time ago. For me, I was so happy because that was the first time America had been caught the skirt up with the hands in the cookie jar. And I was hoping at that time, I was hoping at that time that white people, all people, would see that at that time we were all thinking America was perfect. We weren't watching what was happening with the wars. We weren't watching the ugly American. You know, we thought we can go anywhere and everybody should speak our language and follow us, and everything we did was right. And if you weren't American or doing what we're doing, it was wrong. And I mean, you can go all the way back. If you want to go back, we don't want to do that. But if you want to go all the way to the genocides of the Indians when they got here. So systemic has started back with the Indians in my mind.
Yeah.
And then once this country has been built on that, and all its institutions, its banks and everything, it's like apartheid. It was built on our backs as Black people, and therefore systemic has always been there. So the rule of the man was to be oppressive to the Black people that were running the country. Sure, the Chinese came along, the railroads, and sure, They had, you know, different races, but they could change their names for the most part. We can never change our name and get away. We were always what we are, black.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. And I think in the end, I think it's going to be different this time. I think I got high hopes.
Yeah, and music plays a role in that. I think in the communication of that particular message.
Yeah,
because music brings people together, you know. And I always say is you can always hide a little sugar within the medicine.
Yeah, that's true. Have a message. Have a message.
Right.
I'm hoping that my great grandson won't have to go through this. I won't be here, but I would hope that he wouldn't. He's just 5 or 6 months old. I was telling his father, my grandsons, the other night that that would be my wish, because they asked me the same question what I thought about it. And after I spoke for an hour, I took a breath. And just so I hope that he doesn't have to go through that, and that would be my wish. You know, one day, like they said, we'll all be free, and that's true. You know,
Hathaway.
And there's enough money, and all you do is have the will to do it. It's not about taking time, or we have to do this, we have to do that. If you can do it now. That's what it is. You know, enough is enough, and let's just do it now. You know, they can, since we know what it is now.
I agree, man. That's awesome.
We had a comment from Ken's sister. Speaking of social political music, one of the greatest artists to tackle those subject matters in the early 70s or mid 70s was Marvin Gaye.
That's right.
Our beloved Marvin Gaye, one of my absolute favorite artists of all time. And McKinley, you were privileged to work with Marvin Gaye for a good period. You did the horn arrangements on Marvin Gaye's final album, which was called Midnight Love, which our viewers may know as the album that contained the all-time R&B classic Sexual Healing. Could you talk a little bit about that, McKinley, and talk about Marvin's impact and what it was like working with him?
Well, it was an adventure because Marvin was a one of a kind. He's one of a kind, and super. As a matter of fact, I did do that album with him, and I just happened to think Marvin called me from. I had played on a lot of Motown things like Ain't It Peculiar and some other things, but the artist was never there.
I like that song.
You work with the artist per se, but he called me. His brother-in-law, Gordon Banks. No, Kitty Sears. Okay, I'm trying to think of the connection. Kitty Sears, who brought me Bloodstone and the Impression and stuff. I did them too. But Kitty was with Marvin and recommended me. And Gordon came to my house and asked me to do it. And I said, okay. I was kind of like Marvin Gaye, and I was kind of like, if you don't think you're gonna do a great job or a yeoman job, you might rather maybe not do it. So I said, let me think about that for a minute. So they came back and they said, well, Marvin wants you to do it. So Marvin on the phone after I'd done it. See, I didn't have any direction. After I wrote the track, after I did the tracks, Marvin called from Amsterdam and said, man, where'd you get those ideas? And I've always been kind of like a serious person and not full of BS. I had to think because, like, where do you get the ideas? What do you say? I wasn't going to go get philosophical or get religious, but I said the truth. I said from you, because I would listen to the track and Marvin, he would play something, and instead of going 8 bars on the 7th bar, he might change and go somewhere else.
Yeah, before it loops over.
Because he was creative and he would be changing all the time. So what I heard and took it to the logical conclusion of that line, maybe picked up something else and inserted it elsewhere. So basically, I listened to him and tried to feel what he was feeling. And that was where the ideas came from. So I told him the truth to him. And that's probably why I got the gig of doing the live shows. We did the live shows then after that.
Good synergy.
Yeah. And in that band we had 21 to 24 piece band.
Wow.
Gosh.
Sheila E.,
Oh yeah.
Sheila E.
Yeah, Sheila E. was there.
She was in the band. Okay.
Wow.
Prince saw one of the shows we did in Annapolis, I think. We had Sheila E., Tony S. Kavita, her brother, Tony Flores, and Elmira Collins, who's passed, Paulette McWilliams. You probably know her, Shelly, and Lynn Davis, and, Sydney Davis, and one other girl. But then we had Wawa Watson, we had Byron Miller on bass, we had 3 guitars,
Byron Miller.
we had 7, we had 3 keyboards. I mean, as a matter of fact, it would take us 10 or 15 minutes to get on stage. You know?
Yeah.
And he left it, and I did a recording on that. It's on YouTube called a tribute to Marvin.
Okay.
And it's about 10 minutes long because we would do the first 10 or 15 minutes of the show for Marvin. You know, and that was remarkable for him to let us do it, to do that. So, and the overture I actually wrote, and I took songs of his and did variations of them, and but they're still recognizable as an overture. So it's on YouTube too, like I said. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
But he was very creative. I tell you, he was very religious too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. His mother loved his mother. And after he did sexual healing, he did. The Isaac brothers came to the room. I worked with them later with the Bloodstone, but I didn't know them then. They came to the dressing room and they came out with Under the Sheets. They came out under the sheets.
Between the sheets.
Yeah, right away.
Between the sheets.
Between the sheets.
Okay, so that was they said we got to have a nice sexy record like what Marvin did.
Yeah. And Marvin was coming back with one called, how can I say this? Marvin was coming back with one that was called Marvin was coming back with one called Sanctified Blank.
Yep.
A 5-letter word.
We'll leave it at that, huh?
Sanctified Blank. But what he was saying, because everybody's, they do their head like this, because he was worried about his mother too, her feeling it. It was Sanctified Blank, like I said. But he didn't want the blank to be heard. I was going to put horns on top of it, like, to cover it up, some type of effect to cover up the word. But all he was saying in that song, Marvin, this is what he thought. He wanted a clean, wholesome woman that hadn't been around and stuff of that nature. So he wanted a sanctified blank, And so if you got into the lyrics, they didn't put it out while he was alive. They put it out later. I think I didn't read it well, but that was his idea about doing it. Very talented.
Well,
yeah, I remember that song. That's one of my dad's favorites too.
Which one?
The Blank,
Sanctified. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that melody.
Okay, I was the only one. Okay.
Yeah, as well as the Midnight Love stuff. The Ain't That Peculiar? That's one of my dad's favorites too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, great stuff. And Rockin' After Midnight on the Midnight Love album. Those are some of the most incredible horn arrangements that I've ever heard on any record ever. They got so much energy and character. So I mean that was awesome work that you did there.
Hey guys, Shelly's gonna have to go. So is there any more Invictus stuff that we need to chop up? I know we got we might want to mention Ken, the chairman of the board, and McKinley's involvement with a certain record.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But Shelly, did you have anything else you want to share with as far as your time working with McKinley at Invictus?
Well, just the fact that it's he's so humble about all the stuff that he's done over there, and we all appreciate everything that you did. But you're like the unsung hero of that era, but clearly talented beyond belief. So we appreciate what you did.
That's right. That's great, Shelly.
Thank you, Shelly. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to give you the flowers.
I'm too old to blush, but I am blushing a bit. You can't see it, but I'm blushing a bit.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to say goodbye to Shelly. Shelly, go ahead, kid.
Shelly has now become one of the members of our team.
Okay, yeah, that's facts.
So let's go Shelly Clark White
to
the crew of That's My Story.
Yeah, now you got a guarantee audience now to grow. I'm in.
Yeah, you're already family.
Yeah,
That's right.
We're just gonna make a big family out of this whole thing, man. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
Shelly, right. Don't ever change, Shelly. You look great.
Thank you. You do too, Silver Fox.
We'll see you. All right. Bye,
guys.
Shelly.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for stopping in.
All
right. So yeah, go ahead, kid.
And from Honeycomb Invictus, I think did you go out west? Did you go out west? I mean, what you did with Marvin Gaye, but I was reading somewhere where you did some stuff with Monty Pointer.
Well, I did her single, biggest single as a single artist, I believe. Heaven Must Have Sent You.
Heaven Must Have Sent You.
Which originally was recorded by the Elgins at Motown.
Okay.
And we do have a video, correct?
Yep, we have a video there.
We're going to take a moment to go to a video, folks. Hang tight.
Okay.
Not hang tight like that. You hanging 10. But we always crack jokes on each other, man. You know, we weren't musicians, we'd be comedians.
What video are we going to here?
Bonnie Pointer.
But
Nice. That still got you rocking. Yeah.
I hadn't seen that before.
Oh, cool.
I remember that was the first single that they certified gold because it was digitally. We did that whole thing digitally.
Okay.
As opposed to analog, we did the whole thing digitally. So they got a gold for the digital recording of that, you know. And then I turned around. I'm not sure which, but I think it came second. Yeah, rest in peace for Bonnie. Sure. She's a fun-loving person, very fun-loving person, and great talent. I think she on one of the renditions of that song, she scats on it like Louis Armstrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You listen. That's the version I heard.
Oh, wow!
I heard the other day. But then I did the Pointer Sisters too. Without her, He's So Shy. I did that on the Pointer Sisters.
I used to listen to that when I was a kid. My mom and my aunts, you know, would be on the radio. I remember that record.
Really? Okay. Well, you can make me feel real old.
Oh no, man! No, you just not old. Hey, listen, I appreciate it. You're aging like wine, not like milk.
Okay. That's cool. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. But you got such a long legacy, man. It's impressive.
Yeah, because it seemed so long ago that to me, that's what I was thinking, you know.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah.
What made you go in that direction with this song?
That song there, actually, again, that was Jeffrey. I didn't have much in terms of input in terms of production on that, on the direction. I just kind of did the arrangements and I did the horns on there, and I think on the Pointer Sister, I did the arrangement. I don't think there's any horns or strings on that, you know. But you know, it brings me back to mind of you guys remember a group called Gonzalez? They haven't stopped dancing yet.
I remember them.
They were an English group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though the name was Gonzalez, not one Latin or Mexican was in the group. Not one.
Really? Wow.
They were London, they were Irish, they were Indians from India, everything but Latino in the group. And that's what got me over to England. That's my first time going to England, I think Barney Perkins and I went over, and that's the first time I had a chance to use the Detroit, I used the Detroit Symphony Orchestra several times, but the London Symphony Orchestra, I had a chance to write and direct from them. That was really one of the personal highlights that I have. You know, just the London Symphony Orchestra, just sitting there, and I said, London Symphony Orchestra, all right.
Nice.
Yeah. So
yeah, I have a question for you, McKinley. Oh, go ahead, Ken. Did you have something?
Go ahead.
Well, I was just in doing a little research, so I see you wear many hats as far as when it comes to music, from arranger to musician to composer, music director, conductor. What do some of those titles entail, and especially like in the studio session? They would vary
from group to group and to the what's necessary, but well, naturally, arranger is writing. See, I like to do this. I like to call it orchestration too, because you know, even when I was younger, and then people say I would do records, and they would say we arranged it, but you know, if I tell you to put a chair in the corner and move a table somewhere, that doesn't make you an interior decorator, you know.
Right, exactly.
So even if you did tell me I'd like to have some trumpets here, I'm, you know, me or the person that does it has to transcribe that, write it down for each instrument so that it becomes reality. You know, wishes is like, you know, one hand the other, but if you have the ability, you write it out, and then that's arranging to me.
Okay.
But if you want to call what you're doing arranging, I'll be the orchestrator. So that makes a difference, you know. And the rest of it, you know, probably leading, and I did contracting. I did, like you say, the music director for the Temptations. This last stint, I did about 7 years with them, and with Marvin. And then I was, I did music directing with several other groups too. The Peps, the Originals. So quite a few other groups too. You know that I didn't even consider it. You know, that's what I'm saying about those different hats. You just do what you do. I wasn't thinking about this is arranging, or this is directing, or this is I just, you know, you just do it. The call to be done.
Whatever needs to be done, you can just kind of fill in that gap.
Yeah, you know,
for the record to be completed.
Yeah, that's it. And then they put the titles to. We just do what we do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, in my world, you're also known for being a fantastic trombonist. I mean,
thank you.
That was your motto, you know.
Yeah.
And anybody said trombone, is McKinley on it? Nope. when I first got into the situation, we played in New York, and all the guys, as soon as you walk through that dressing room door, they were like going down.
Okay.
Your trombonist, you know, your problem from trombone.
Oh, yeah.
I think the baddest trombone solo on record is what you did in Finders Keepers, and I think we have a clip of that.
Okay, before you do it, let me tell you one thing.
Okay.
I've been arranging
All right.
At Invictus Highwax for several years. I hadn't played the trombone in several years.
Wow.
Jeffrey wanted me to play, so I picked it up.
Yeah.
Now, first note on there that sounds like maybe a synthesizer would have done it was me, because my lips are so tight, I was able to get way beyond the human expectation. And so that was the case. So that was the thing with that solo. I hadn't played in 2 or 3 years. So
that's all.
So this is the chairman of the board record right here.
Okay, finest keeper.
Now that you say that, I heard what you meant.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I never caught that before. That it sounded, it sounds otherworldly.
Otherworldly. That's a fantastic. Yeah. That's what I was saying.
First couple of notes you hit.
Yeah.
So you were playing 2 notes at the same time on the trombone.
I overdubbed them, but super high. And I played the harmony to them.
Okay.
And even on that last run, which I wish they'd turn it up, because after I did the second one and I did I went down an octave, I went back up an octave, went down an octave, then I went down an octave below that and played the same.
Right. Well, we cut it off.
You don't hear that on the record, you know. I keep hearing it in my mind.
Yeah, sweet.
Danny Wood's daughter is on here, Cheryl. That's his real music.
Hey, Cheryl.
Who is this?
Danny Wood's daughter, Cheryl.
Oh, you kidding?
Yeah.
Hey, Cheryl, how you doing?
Hey, Cheryl.
Hello.
The real music.
Oh, yeah, that's Danny Wood's daughter. Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's his oldest daughter.
Yeah, his oldest daughter. Then I met her there because he had the girl. He had the girl and boy when he was in Detroit.
Yeah.
Cheryl, lovely to see you. You had a great father. Fantastic father.
Absolutely.
Danny Woods, man, I keep saying one of a kind, but Danny Woods would have us go. See, I started with Danny. That's what on this level. But Danny used to do a show. First of all, I think he would get Jackie Wilson out the grave singing Danny Boy. That was one. He was so fantastic singing that. And we used to do songs, and he would do stuff like Shout, and we worked mostly Caucasian clubs, and they love that. Like the Animal House or whatever, you know. It's like and Danny would put up 10 chairs and he would run.
I heard about that.
And then he would run, then he would stop, then he would get a couple more chairs and put that. Then he would run. You think I could do it? Think I could do it? And then he would run and he would do it. He would do it. Man. Land on his feet and go back to singing. I mean,
jump over 10, 15 chairs or something like that.
You don't see that, but I mean, you know, Danny was a bull. Danny was a kind, gentle guy, but he was a bull, man.
Yeah. The best to ever do that. I mean, Danny could he could ignite a crowd.
Yeah. Oh, Danny's a showman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Entertainer.
A lot of energy.
A lot of energy. Yeah. Yeah. Danny Woods.
Yeah. So
that was a great group, the chairman of the board, and still are.
Mm-hmm.
New personnel.
Yes, yeah, new personnel.
Yeah.
Some of the fresh blood, you know.
Yeah. I get back on that too. I'm the chairman. I did the track on that.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I did the track on Give Me a Little More. I didn't do the track. I played on Give Me a Little More Time.
Okay.
I had an arrangement, but the chairman of the board. See, that's so kicking. I like to do that again. I mean, that's just.
Oh yeah,
we did it in the UK. We did it.
I like that.
We talked about we were all the last time we were all together about redoing that, chairman of the board.
Oh yeah, right. The time we were all together. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's just a thing. I mean, that's just a great thing. I mean, who was at the song? Oh, what you call him? Harrison Kennedy song back then. But that was a great song for you guys to do too, man. It's
you know what we did in the UK.
Yeah, in 2018, it was part of the show over in the UK.
Yeah.
They love it.
We haven't done it over here yet, but that's a good idea to redo it. But they love Finders Keepers and they love Chairman of the Board. So every time we go over, we have to do those songs.
Yeah, and patches, I'm sure, and patches.
Yes, indeed, man.
Yeah, patches. They called us when General wrote patches, and we got it recorded. Atlantic Record called and said, "We're putting this out," and I think on Clarence Carter, and I'm not sure what the company said, yes or no, but it didn't matter because overnight they had test pressed it, manufactured it, and had it to the DJs by the morning.
Wow!
I mean, they moved on that so fast, and Clarence version is good, but General's version just still has a certain organicness about it that I've always appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the great songs. I know that's a great song. Could have been country and western or whatever, because there's a great story in there. Great story.
Absolutely, great story. Story.
Yeah.
So, McKinley, how did you make the transition from trombone into starting to play keyboard instruments and whatnot?
Well, tell you, I got busy arranging, and what happened? I didn't play keyboards for them, but as I sat down with all these songwriters, I'd have to kick them over. Say, no, that's not a chord. That's a chord.
I got you. Okay.
And that's what I did. I started playing what I call arranger's keyboard. I mean, I know all the chords, have known all the chords, and I play the chords. Even now, I've even done some jobs. I said, well, the later it gets, the more they drink, the better I sound. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, I could, I mean, because I know the music, I know the changes, blah blah blah. But I always call people like yourself my real keyboard players.
Oh man, thank you.
I always say real keyboard players. Yeah.
Pleasure.
Yeah. But go ahead. No,
I'm just listening.
I was gonna say, it was a pleasure. We got a chance to work with you directly in the studio in Detroit 3 years ago, working on our last album that we released, Words Left Unsaid, and you had some awesome productions and arrangements on that as well. And I remember getting to spend some time with you in the studio playing the piano, and you were giving me some pointers on how to take a phrase and make it a complete piano
phrasing, that type of thing.
So great memories in the studio.
That album, you and Thomas did a great job. I was listening a couple of days ago. Well, that's right, we did that with Melvin and Mervyn Stills.
Yes.
I should mention them because we have that label together, the Philly Soul, Motown Soul, and they Melvin and Melvin and I and Mervyn, we did a thing called wait a minute. Treat them right. Because, I told Ken last night, I spoke to Ken, I said, Ken, I don't remember all the stuff I did. So I said, I'm going to write a couple things. 30 years. Treat them right. And that was the first song on the movie Girl Trip.
Yeah,
that was the first song they played on Girl Trip. So, I want to mention Melvin and Mervyn, and
the album that we did that you guys did on I mean, the arrangements, the writing, the production. That was what people were looking for out of chairman of the board.
Yeah, some great changes. And words left unsaid. Some great chord changes and words left unsaid. I must tip my hat.
Yeah. Well, then you oh no, Melvin. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you had a vocalist or a girl trying to sing that, but the changes. You guys did a good job. You did a video on that too that you can on your.
Yeah, we did it. In fact, we did a video that Tazz produced on us, and it was good. I mean, the whole project was good. Go ahead.
Excuse me, I'm gonna take a hint from Midas.
No, hey, listen, that's what I'm here for. Hey, everybody, have a swing. You got to keep our vocals, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of
in between you doing the stuff on us, you were also out with the Temptations, right?
Right. Like I said, I was with them 7 years, and it was a good run. I enjoyed it, the road, and you know, I enjoyed it because I recorded on a lot of the material as a studio musician.
Yeah.
And, I'm trying to think, and they had good vocals. You know, they've always been a good group, and Otis is always demanded the best in vocalists. You know, so I enjoyed that. I remember I met you and Brandon. No, you and Thomas.
Yeah. When you
took photos with the Temps.
Right.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think you did some dancing at some part.
Oh yeah.
If you want to call it that.
We got some video, don't we?
Video that.
Well, we're having fun. We're having fun.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, man. You know, did you see the caption? McKinley Jackson and the Temptations.
Oh yeah,
oh,
yeah.
No. I didn't notice that.
Now, how long did it take to rehearse to get those dance steps, McKinley?
Oh, well, hey man, I'm a musician. I sit up there and watch them dance and count. I count.
It up.
And then a couple trips to the bathroom after the shows, and with me and myself, just you know, bam, and you know, and it was fun to do that with them, you know.
Nice, man.
I mean,
I tell you what, it got to a point though. Like if I didn't feel like doing it, they were expecting me to do it, so I didn't really want to be part of the show, you know.
Okay. So
yeah, because they would stop and start pointing to me.
So make it a part of the show.
They were trying to catch a breath at my expense, you know.
So they made it a part of the show, huh?
Yeah. So I wasn't getting the part of the show money, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah,
it was consistent money.
You know, but I don't know how much time we have. But Ken, you had asked me
4 minutes.
Huh?
We got a few more. We over our normal hour, but I think everybody's okay. Yeah, it goes quick. We had an hour and 8 minutes, but I guess we can go maybe 5 or 10 more minutes. Like Ken already said, we're gonna go do a part 2.
So with the beard.
That's Isaiah's granddad. What's up, Tim?
Hey Tim, how you doing?
Let me give a shout out.
I did have my chairman of the board mask on earlier.
Let me give a shout out to my grandson, Nathan and Deshaun and Naeem, and my granddaughter Kativa, and to my wife Carol. Let me just give a shout out because I had on this list Mavis Staples, Sheila E., Helen Reddy, Blue Mitchell, Farrell Saunders, Norman Connors, Frida Payne, Eloise Laws, Sherry Payne, Chairman of the Board, Clarence Carter, Aretha Franklin, Lamont Dozier, Eddie and Brian Holland, the Jones Girls, Campbell Huff, and Melvin Mervyn Stills, Bloodstone Impressions, B.B. King, Benny King, ZZ Hill, Four Tops, Temptation, Spider Turner, Funk Brothers, The Peps, Jose Feliciano, Bonnie Pointer Sisters, Pat Lewis, Belita Woods, Tower of Power. So I didn't get a chance to talk about any of those. So I'll just I'll mention them.
We got to do a part 2. Yeah. But before you, it was something else I was going to ask you that had something to do with your son Proof.
Oh yeah, okay.
Very, I mean, influential guy.
Yeah, he was the mayor. Now I had nothing to do with this and can't take any credit for it. Okay. He was they consider him the mayor of hip hop in Detroit, and he and Eminem, Eminem credits him with his star, giving him his star and giving him a platform to get credentials and validity in the hip hop world.
Yes.
And when Sean left here, his name was Sean. Proof is what they call him, Proof. So when he left and they had the service for him, Eminem covered the whole service. They had blocked down the city, all the streets leading up to the cemetery, and he had the white, the glass carriage and white drawn horses and that type of thing. And he's in a mausoleum now. But I was going to say, the people, I never met anybody that had anything sad to say about him. Not because of me. That's just what he'd done for them. He put them on. He had done this. He'd done that. Musicians, people I didn't know. I mean, they just come up to. They still do. So he has a great legacy in reference to hip hop.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wish he had. You know,
by the way, me and Stephanie, we visited his mausoleum.
You did
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, they complained at first because Rosa Parks is in there also.
That's right.
Rosa Parks talking about a hip hopper being in there, but I guess they got over all of that, so he's there. So.
Yeah, and Aretha Franklin. I think you did Aretha Franklin too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I had to ask Matt a moment ago what was the name of it. Matt knows because he's like Titus. He kind of did his Matt knows. He brings me stuff that I had forgotten that I did, records, and I lost some stuff in the luggage bag for about 30 years or so. And Matt saw it on eBay and bought it for me, and I got numbers back from my relatives I hadn't seen in 30 or 40 years.
Oh,
and
nice.
So Matt's on top of it. He told me the name of the song I did on Aretha was "Touch Me Up." And so yeah, I played with Aretha stuff before, but I did the arrangements for that. I think Lamont produced that. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Just to backtrack real quick, if people would have seen the 8 Mile movie, your son Proof would have been the character that was played by Mekhi Phifer, correct?
That's right, exactly. Okay. And so he was in the movie too. He was in the movie.
He was.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that. I gotta go
buck teeth.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, he was in the audience a couple of times.
Okay.
My wife had to point it out to me because I
got to go back and see it. So
you're looking at, you'll see him. If you look at another picture of him and then go watch the movie, you'll see him several times.
Yeah, and I noticed some other people have over the years have pointed out, themselves being in the crowd as extras and things.
Yeah.
But it would only be right to have your son in that movie because that was it seemed like that was his thing.
It was based off of him. That was his thing.
Putting the artist a platform for the artist to showcase their talent.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
I know you got to go, but please give a shout out to our buddy Neil Dugans. He's been on his list.
Oh yeah, we got lost in the conversation.
This goes out. Best of luck to Neil and Jackie.
Yeah.
And Jackie.
And
these are some of your diehard fans in the UK. Martin Lawrence. I mean, you guys got quite a following over there.
Yeah.
Following.
So we appreciate each and every one of them.
In closing, I'm going to ask you about your brother. How's your brother doing?
He's thanks for asking. He's doing better. He has to have dialysis now, I understand, 3 times a week. So I should give a shout out to my brother James Jackson, to his son Corey, his daughter Davina, his daughter Sonara, his daughter his son Corey. Yeah, but he's doing better now. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, and one more person, Brenda Perryman was very responsible.
Oh man, yeah. You know, this pandemic is really the worst thing. One of the worst things about it is not being able to see your loved ones when they do pass away. Mm-hmm. And you can't go and get, because you know the funeral service and all that stuff is really for us to grieve, because you know they're gone. It's really for us to grieve and to see them and get over the fact of being able to say goodbye. And you haven't been able to do this. Even my brother's in the hospital. I couldn't. Joe Pep was in there for the longest, and I took him stuff down at the toiletries and stuff and picked his TV up, but I couldn't see him. Couldn't go down and talk to him, and you don't know if they don't pick the phone up. You don't know what's happening. But Brenda is such a loss, man, and so many people she affected along the way. Because you know she was a principal, a teacher, and she was a spoken word artist, and she did many things and plays and the whole thing. So Brenda, she will be missed. Brenda,
yeah, man, it was
because we did our show together several times, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Brandon too. You did the show.
Yeah, and Thomas.
Well, I just wanted to say, McKinley, just looking at the long. Is that the Grammy music playing? We got to wrap it up.
Yeah.
No, but listen,
I'm gonna tell her what she I'll be home.
Hey, listen, yeah, it's all good.
Probably want to be some bacon or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, just you having such a long list of artists that you've worked with and songs you've worked on. I mean, it speaks volumes not only to your talent and your professionalism, but to me, it speaks volumes about you as a person. You know, people obviously like you; they like working with you. So I think even beyond just the musical aspect of things, to me, it shows that you're quite the citizen. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that. You know, some people. My mother asked me years ago before she passed. Said, "Billy, they call me Billy, but anyway, Billy, she said, how do you know all these celebrities and these artists and stuff you're working with? How'd you start working with them?" I said, which I didn't. I said, I don't know. I said, I guess I'm just lucky. She said, no, hold it. You're blessed.
Blessed, absolutely.
And now, whenever I think about it, I still think about luck internally, but I'd say blessed because that's what I know my mother told me. You're blessed. I didn't quite get the correlation there because it was just natural for me. Since I've been in high school, in junior high school, I've been doing music. So I go to the next stage, and sometimes you can do it to a point where you don't, not that you just don't appreciate it. It's just a normal thing to me. That's why I don't have pictures. I didn't think to take pictures of this person, that person, because my thing
is emotions.
Music, you know. So I wish I had it.
Comes back to you though.
Huh?
You may not took pictures then, but it still comes back to you.
Oh yeah. I like that saying I saw today that you don't have to tell your side of the story. That time will.
Yeah, and it seems like you are always.
And this is part of it.
Yeah, and it seems like you were always prepared when the opportunity presented itself. Yeah. And that's huge. When opportunity meets preparation. But we're not gonna hold you, man. We know the Grammy music is playing. And once again, folks, we probably have to run a part 2 of this. We're a little over our time, but we appreciate you guys sticking it out with us. Just as a reminder, you can go over to YouTube and watch the playback, or you can share this particular one on your own individual pages. Oh, thank you, Bonnie. I think Lawrence did Lawrence have a birthday recently also? Okay, happy birthday, Lawrence. We got to have a can of water soon. But so go over to YouTube, check us out. If you haven't already liked our Chairman of the Board page on Facebook, go over and do that now. We appreciate Mr. McKinley Jackson for joining us today, man. This has been a history music lesson for me. As I told you before we came on, I was just going to be a sponge. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And thank you for all the compliments and and things that you've given us individually and collectively. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys, really. And I've been watching you since Spider and everybody's been on. I mean, Mel,
Melvin.
Patton,
and Shelly and Verdine have been on.
So you guys done a great job, and thanks for having me.
Pat Lewis and others.
Hey, that's right. Props to Matt. He helped me out quite a bit.
Matt Thibodeau, what's up, buddy? All right, just while we're here, there won't be any quarantunes tomorrow night, folks. We're gonna take a little break. Brandon has an engagement on Saturday, so we're gonna let him rest so he can have his vocals. He got to do two 90-minute sets on Saturday, B?
Yeah. I'll be in Columbia doing a Luther Vandross and Brian McKnight tribute show. So
so we're taking a break from the quarantunes tomorrow, but we keep you guys posted. In the meantime, everybody, please stay safe. Follow the guidelines given to you by the CDC.
Wear your mask.
Wear those.
I got mine.
You got oh man,
nice. Yes, sir. That's nice there with the keyboard. Hey, McKinley, what's your favorite board? You have a favorite keyboard?
Well, I like quite a few of them because they all do different things. So I don't sit down and play continuously. I do some jobs, but naturally, what's yours, by the way?
I'm more of a Yamaha kind of guy. I got a Nord, but Nord doesn't have as extensive sound bank, But if I'm just doing mainly Oregon's been good on there and stuff, but I'm more of a Yamaha motif kind of guy mainly for performance because you can layer sounds and have them at your disposal on the volume.
I noticed that when you and Brandon are working, you got some things layered on there, strings and
strings and maybe a couple of different Rhodes blended together, so I don't have to really go through the patches and find the sounds. You can kind of preset beforehand.
Hey, we got one final question.
One more question
from Matt Thibodeau. He says,
"All right,
what's the like with the great guitarist Matt Thibodeau?"
Nice. Hey, he misspelled his name real quick too.
Yeah, he did.
He did get it right. He got it right on time too.
He had to type it in quick, buddy.
Hey, Matt is a let's see, what can I say on public about Matt? What can I say in public about Matt? Excellent guy, excellent guitarist, and a jokester.
Yes.
I think we better close this up, right?
Okay.
I think so. All right, folks. Till next week. Y'all stay safe. Peace. Go over to YouTube. Share the show. We thank you.
Thanks, McKinley.
Thank you.
Love.